Hey guys, how's it going? It is Kire here with another Infinite Magicraid video, and in today's video, I'm going to be covering everything you need to know about the new event here in Infinite Magicraid. Right now, it's the Joyful Reunion. This is going to be going for the next 7 days, and there's a lot of stuff to talk about, and then also just how good this event is compared to the Christmas event, because that one was incredibly controversial. I think this is a massive step in the right direction based on how they did it last time, and where a lot of the controversy came from was how they did this event here, because there's a lot of good rewards. Previously, they had a legendary Dragonite. This time you get a very good legendary hero in Pollen. I'll do a specific gun on him. I already got him unlocked. And as you can see here, the amount of buffs that I have is just 1. I ended up just grabbing it. But you could easily do this with no buffs if you have characters like mine. I know that's kind of on the high end, but compared to last time where I had 20 buffs to be able to I wasn't able to beat Rudolph. I had to reset and then battled Nicholas and then was able to beat him first try. So I don't know if Nicholas was the way easier version, if my characters just matched up better, but it went from incredibly hard. Like even the minions leading up to the final boss were really hard. In this one, I was a little worried initially because their speeds are very similar than the last event where it's anywhere from 1900 to like 2600. So it is difficult. I just have a very high, like good team. So I'd expect someone like me to be able to beat this relatively easily. But for other people that are either just starting out, if you're just starting out, you're probably not going to do it. I would say you need to be playing for a few months, have a full team ready to go. And then with enough buffs over the course of this week, you should be able to beat this. Yeah, I think this is reasonable compared to the last event where it was just so hard for even the people that have some like late game accounts there, which I think is just dumb for an event like this. So really glad that they listened to feedback and made it a lot better. And so if you want to see the stage 3 puzzles and all the matchups / battles, I'll link that as an unlisted video down in the description. The red packet here is just doubling the rewards. Very simple. I like that they're doing that. It's just more free stuff for us, but you actually have to kind of work for it. You have to have a good team, and then if you are, then you're getting rewarded with double rewards here, and some of the best rewards in the game, potentially, in here, especially if we get lucky. The holiday pass got changed. It was originally announced as a $50 pack that would guarantee you Pollen. I like that they went this direction. I also like, because these all end in a Miracle Rune summoning event for the character, and this is the only time to be able to get these characters in Pollen and the Epic. And in this case scenario, this Epic here is actually really good. So I like that all the events are targeting a ton of Miracle Runes potentially. And if you've saved them, you can probably get a lot plus what you have saved. I do think the Miracle Rune, they need to kind of think of something outside of an event to make us have enough Miracle Runes, but I do like that all of this is targeting to as many Miracle Runes as possible in like a reasonable amount. So you have all these Miracle Runes here instead of Supreme Runes. And then they also have currently going on the Brave Trial. This is another way to be able to get Miracle Runes through this event here. So many different things happening in the game that are giving Miracle Runes in a higher than normal rate. Then we also, just from the login bonus, we get one of these characters guaranteed in the Epic. I think this is a great character and probably worth pulling for, because I wouldn't say it's necessarily worth pulling for Pollen the Legendary, but at least the Epic here, because at exclusive 1, she gets really good, where it increases all allies crit rate by 25 to 30% for 2 turns, but then it goes up to 50% and 60% crit damage. I think that's crazy on an ult there. And then she gets even better with exclusive 2, and then exclusive 3 here reduces the buff layers for triggering by 2 layers. I don't think it's that important, but I think this is a very good Epic. This is the only chance to get her. They've been giving us more ways to get Miracle Runes. I think this is a really good change that they actually made the Epic really good this time. And you already get her guaranteed, but then she only gets better with more exclusives, which you can't put in like the normal Epic Dragonite. So this is something that you might want to consider pulling for. Normally I'd be kind of annoyed by that, but they're giving us so many different ways to get Miracle Runes this go around. I think that's a good change going forward for this, even though I really don't like that they limit you on the Legendary Dragonite and the Epic Dragonites for these characters. I think they should do something where they delay it by 2 to 3 months, and then you're able to put those on there. So you still have the extra exclusive amount for a while, but then eventually everyone can do it, because if they at least got the character during that time frame, or everyone could get those characters in a time frame like 2 to 3 months later kind of thing. I think that's totally normal for a game like this, because it's just weird to have to explain to new players that these characters you see in game are literally, no matter what you do, you cannot get them. I just think that is bizarre and counterintuitive for everyone involved. Players are not going to like that, and then the company's not going to like that either because they can't monetize them. And then what are they going to do next year? They just release the same characters. That's also bad for them and would lose them money in the long run. So it's just L's all around by having this kind of weird artificial gate. I'm okay with it for a little bit, but not for in perpetuity. World Boss. I think this is actually a really cool event. This is basically Clan Boss, but how it works is you have multiple teams. You get 3 attempts per day, and then this is going to be like the daily reward, I believe, from this. Then if you check here, it explains it all in the corner. And then if you look at the skills when you actually go into the match, it's basically turning Pollen into a guild boss. Like, he kills you in 20 turns. He has a stun, stuff like that. But he also has his own buff where he has the reduced, like the defense increase and the tenacity increase. So keep that in mind. That I think Ben Austin is going to be like absolutely insane for this because he constantly cleanses and then puts the block buffs on. I don't know if the block buffs actually still land, but at least he blocks or removes the defense down and then the tenacity down. So like people like that can remove buffs continuously are going to be really good for this event. And then you just need to be able to build 3 teams. So keep that in mind. You might want to spread out your normal guild boss team. And I think these kind of events are really nice because everyone's always focusing on their top guild boss team. Whereas it gets really interesting when now it's like, okay, you have all the staples out of here. What's the next best team, assuming all the staple characters that you're building are not available? I think that's where it gets fun. It is one of those things, though, that only gets fun when you have a lot of teams built. In the beginning, when you only have 7, maybe 8 characters fully built, and these kind of things are just annoying because now you use your normal team and then you don't have anyone else built. So it's like, what's the point? It's just a bummer event. But then it gets kind of fun again once you actually start to have 15 characters built out or whatever, really participate in these kind of events here, and it makes it pretty fun, in my opinion. One thing to keep in mind that the damage in this is really low, so I wouldn't worry too much about getting a healer. Just focus on as much damage as possible, and I think you'll do well. The rewards in it for the ranking system are actually pretty good, but this is going to be only super whale categories here. 107 in the rankings here, but we have 7 days to be able to maybe dial it in. If I'm 107 now, if they come up with a better team, maybe I'm not going to be top 100. Being top 100 gets you this avatar, whereas if you're not top 100, you get this one right here, this all united one. I think this is a fun event. Okay, so this leads me to the holiday challenge here. I haven't done this yet, so I don't know just how hard this is, but I'm already way more positive about this event than I was on the previous one, because the other one was incredibly difficult, and then they have these buffs that they give throughout based on certain attributes that usually requires the new character. So the last time, the only way to get Nicholas by this time, right when the event went live, was you had to do, I guess, equivalent of this. It's one of these kind of mini games like Spring Treasures, and then go all the way to floor, something ridiculous. You would need to spend a ton of money to get to guarantee Nicholas initially. Then you would get the buffs from the event by using Nicholas for that. So only whales were able to participate in this and to get the extra buffs here. When an ally obtains 3 attribute buffs, increase all their damage dealt by 8% up to 40%. Happy New Year will not be removed when an owner dies or the wave transition, but then increases all damage dealt by 25% when an ally is under stealth. So the new character does stealth. So last time, there was effects that were very particular to Nicholas, just like they are here, where it's okay, the main character that you're pulling for is giving stealth, so you get a massive increase if you have a stealth character. I like this, but now that everyone's guaranteed Pollen, this already is way better than last time, right there. Then I'm going to need to go through this and see if it's actually way harder or if it's easier. But the fact that we at least get the character to get and take advantage of these extra effects that 99% of people wouldn't be able to take advantage of last time, already better in my mind there. It does get pretty hard. So even with this, I would say it's the same difficulty. So if that Ariel would have chosen my berry here, he would have died. Because the big thing is they all ignore shield. Because what they're doing is they're targeting Pollen. Pollen gives tenacity down and defense up. Whereas if that is just objectively worse than the shield that Catherine would provide, but because they're making it to where it ignored shield, you have to use characters like that. So Alec is going to be big for this. Pollen's going to be big for this. And I would have a massive issue with this event on its difficulty if we couldn't get the Pollen character, and if they didn't make it so much easier to be able to get Pollen versus how it was to be able to finish the previous Christmas event. Overall, this is a win. In my mind, this is a fun challenge because we get the new character and then we get to use that new character in a fun challenge. This could even be like a really cool idea that they make something hard that gets the new character in there. It involves the new character, and then it puts a hard limit on us. So we have to really think about how we can best use this new character. Just kind of my quick thing here was thinking about using him because he has Immortal, for example. But ideally, you would just take in Nordak here and then just have damage immunity. Okay, the intended mechanic is just to take Pollen in, and then what you do is you have the damage immunity here, and then he gives defense up and that, but mainly this part here, you want the stealth first. So it's like, what is the ordering they want here? But you just make everyone have stealth, and then he has this, and then they target him. Those are some of the intended mechanics for this, but it is difficult. And because of the blocking of the shield, and then they also do good damage. Like Ariel is critting and just one-shotting my Bari. So, and that's with Consolidation 2 up. Keep that in mind. And that's only on stage 8. That was like probably 5-10 minutes of just me trying, and I figured I would at least want to know for this video. And I would say it probably kept the same difficulty, but the opinion of it changes massively because they actually give us the hero to use. If they didn't give us the hero, then I would be right back to how I felt about it in the Christmas event. Okay, and then I figured out in the video here with just a few thoughts on Pollen. Looking at him, just theory crafting before I actually got him built out, I thought he was going to be really good. Turns out he is very good. I ended up putting him in this recovery horn aura I have, and then got him fully booked out. I forget who specifically I regressed, but I regressed someone, got him booked out, tried him out, immediately was able to advance in Tower of Mark. Like mainly I just focus on Red Mark, and so I'm here to level 29 to give you an example there, whereas Force Mark I was 24, and then just without much effort I was able to beat stage 25 and 26 with him on there. But yes, I do have a good team, whereas before I just didn't have enough healing, and also I just didn't really want to bother with it too much. But it was nice to just with low amount of effort throw in Pollen, and it was a big difference in my progress. I'm hoping to be able to get to 29 like I am on the other side of it with Red Mark, because I'm finding I have so many characters that I care about in Force Mark. I'm also considering getting Luna, and it'd be nice to be able to really boost up my Mark Tower progress on the Force side, because I'm really advanced on the Red, and it's kind of a bummer to go back to these characters and not have nearly as much progress here. That's kind of just how I'm thinking here. Whereas like I've been really wanting to focus on the Red Mark, and I kind of want to pick characters that are red. That's why I'm kind of thinking Lucifer probably deserves its own videos here, but I'm kind of debating between these two, especially with how hard these dungeons are way down the line. I might want to consider those characters, but maybe that's just dumb, and maybe like Nordak is like the way to go or something. But that's pretty much it for this event here. If there's any questions, let me know down below on what you guys think. I think this is pretty fair. For a person that has these kind of characters, I can beat it with no buffs, but then it allows people that don't have an account like this a lot of time. Yes, you have to invest the gems in it, but it's totally worth it for a character on this level. Like this is such a good character. And I think that the big failing point for these still, though, to give them some criticism, is this not being able to use Dragonite for this. I just think that's dumb. I'm okay with them not allowing it initially, but at least for some time afterwards, like 3 months down the line, 4 months down the line. I think that'd be fair for like the whales get to have their moment, and then everyone else gets to at least level up the characters in the future. Also, another closing thing would be I legitimately think Lele is a good enough character to pull for, and it's an epic, so it's reasonable. You end up pulling like 1, maybe 2 copies, and then you have a really good epic character to try out. I'm going to be fully regressing someone to try her out to see if it's worth it. I believe in about 8 hours is when she goes live, and then I can like regress another epic, level her up. I want to see how good she is on like that second team. Maybe in first team, if you have a whole bunch of damage dealers, I'm going to give her a shot and see if it's a big boost in my damage. I'll let you guys know. So that's going to be it for this video, and you guys have a good one. Peace.